If you remember from one of my previous videos, I haven't changed the tie rod ends yet because I didn't have them, but now they came with this shipment, so now I can change them. Yeah, the length is the same, so I can go ahead and take information from my phone about the number of turns. So 29 for the right, which is this one, and 24 for the left side. Okay. Okay, so we start counting now. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This doesn't really make sense though, to have different number of turns on the left and on the right side, and I think that I can make them even by taking some turns from one side and putting them on the other side, as long as the total number of turns remains the same. So what I'll do to make them even, I'm not gonna do 29 and 24, I'm gonna do 3 less here, so it's gonna be 26, and I'm gonna add them on the other side, which is gonna be 24, 27. So this is, I'm gonna turn back, I'm 28 and a half here, so 28, and I'm gonna do 2 more, 1, 2. So this way I'm gonna have 26 turns here and 27 turns there. So I spread them even on both sides, because this is gonna keep the total distance the same, but I'm gonna still have a little bit of room to play, because 29 was going all the way to the end, and I don't want it to be to the end. I want to have some threads still available for alignment, and the same there. So this side was 24, but I'm gonna add 3 more, the 3 that I took out from the other side. So that's gonna be 24 plus 3, 27. Okay, so this one starts right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, and one more. And with that, the steering rack was ready to be installed on the car. Next I had to assemble the handbrake cable. I bought a new one, but it came without the forks and anything at the end, so I had to use the old ones from the old handbrake cable, which was very rusty. And all the parts were very rusty, but I cleaned them from the rust and I painted the forks. And on one end of the cable I could screw everything there, but for the other end I first had to fish the cable through the grooves on the frame, and then assemble the second end. But apparently that wasn't that easy, because the axle was on my way. I could fish the cable through one of the holes, but then the second one was on such an angle that the end of the end, if I can tell that, the end of the end, was hitting the axle. So I had to figure out a different way to do that. I tried all different ways, from left to the right, from right to the left, and none of them worked. but then I realized that if I manage to turn the axle in such a way that the U-joint faces the cable in a specific way, I would be able to fish it through. So I jacked up the car and turned a little bit the axle, and it worked. A little bit awkward, but it worked. Then I did the same for the other side, and once it was fished through, I was able to assemble the second end with the fork and the little tab for the return spring. While I was doing that, I realized that on the other side I put the tab for the return spring upside down, so I had to redo it. And then I attached the fork to the lever on the drum, and I installed the return spring. I did the same for the other side, and with that the handbrake was completed, at least on the rear of the car where the suspension is, because the rest can be assembled only when the body is on the frame. Okay, so it's time to do my exhaust, the stainless steel exhaust, which I started laying where it's gonna be, and without the body installed on the frame, it's a little bit hanging in the air, but it's much easier to work on it now than when the body is mounted and I'm gonna be laying under the car, and it's gonna be much harder. So I prefer, with some measurements here, with some calculations, to do it now, and hopefully when I put the body everything's gonna fit. Because I have my header there, which I cut a little bit right there, and I'm gonna show you why. But first I'll start from the back. I measured on the body, the top hook on the body that this needs to be mounted to is like about 19 inches from this body mount here. Actually I need to be a little bit backwards, like here. Let me see again, measure one more time. Yes, 19 inches, and it's approximately there. Of course there's gonna be a piece of rubber or something soft there to hang on, so I have a little bit of play. Even if it's not exactly on the right place, it's fine. So that's my rear muffler, the pipe that goes to the front muffler here, which hangs right there, and then it ends over here. My header ends here. It was a little bit longer, it was coming up to here somewhere, but I cut it because it was going too far up. It was hitting the trannies. Probably what happened is when I welded this, didn't match the exact angle. I tried to, but probably I didn't, and that's why I had to cut it shorter. And I bought this extension. I was gonna use that, but it's a little bit short, because from here it reaches up to here, and my muffler starts over there, so I have like 6-7 inches gap. So what I decided to do is I cut it here. I'm gonna mount this here, and then between these I'm gonna use this cutout piece from old exhaust, but it's in a pretty good shape. So I'm gonna use it and I'm gonna weld it from here to here. So I don't know if you see now, but that's gonna be my exhaust from the header. That's my extension that I bought, cut in two, with another piece in the middle, and from here the stainless exhaust and all the parts that I bought, going back to the rear muffler over there, and then this rear muffler is gonna be attached here to the body. So that's my plan. Let's see if it works. And now I can take it out and weld it. I know I'm not the best welder in the world, but I'm almost there. So I just cleaned the rust, and then I'm gonna have to make these small notches at the end so I can clamp it here and here. And I just painted it with ceramic exhaust paint. So with this one here. So it's ready to be assembled. And since I still have easy access to the trunnies and the differential, I wanted to fill them up with fresh oil, because once I install the body, this would be really hard. So now is the time. Couple of last shots and video frames before I put the body on top. I really like this view, and I know that soon it's not gonna be visible anymore. So what's the point of doing all that? Of course there is a point. Well, the stainless exhaust sticks at the back. I temporarily tighten it here with a piece of cord, so when I put the body on, I'm gonna hang it on the hook. And that's it for now. It's ready to receive the body. It's been exactly 125 days since the body took off and abandoned the frame, but now, 4 months later, it's about to land back on it. I almost don't need this front strap, because the body in front is so light that I can carry it with my one hand, as long as it's hanging on the other two straps in the center. But this is easier because now that I'm alone and there's nobody to guide me and to look on the other side, I have to go all over the place and make sure that it's clear and I can drop it down. But everything went well, and there were absolutely no problems. And they're finally back together. I know there's a lot more work to be done there, but from these two pictures I really can see how much progress I have done for the last 125 days. I'm really proud of it.